In 1899, the German postal electric omnibus emerged as a forward-thinking innovation in public transportation during the height of the Industrial Revolution. Designed to improve efficiency and reduce dependence on horse-drawn vehicles, these omnibuses became an integral part of urban transit systems. In 1947, Ronald Reagan, future 40th President of the United States, testified before the House Un-American Activities Committee amid rising fears of communist influence in Hollywood. Reagan, then a prominent actor and president of the Screen Actors Guild, spoke about suspected communist ties among fellow actors. His testimony came during a period when accusations and political affiliations could end careers and fracture personal relationships. The 1949 blizzard of the century swept across Nebraska, burying towns under over 50 inches of snow in some areas. Roads and railways became impassable, leaving thousands stranded without access to food, medicine, or electricity. Communities worked together in desperate conditions as snowdrifts reached rooftops and temperatures plunged. In 1940, Albert Einstein, along with his secretary Helen Dukas and daughter Margaret, officially became United States citizens. Forced to leave Europe in 1933 due to escalating persecution by the Nazi regime and his Jewish heritage, Einstein found safety and a new beginning in the United States. In 1896, Carl Akeley, a celebrated conservationist and biologist, found himself in a deadly confrontation with a leopard during an expedition in Africa. In a moment of sheer survival, Akeley killed the animal with his bare hands, an event that became one of the most remarkable stories of his life. Beyond its dramatic nature, this encounter reflected Akeley's relentless dedication to wildlife preservation. On April 29, 1945, United States Army troops arrived at the Dachau concentration camp, bringing an end to years of suffering for thousands of prisoners. As soldiers moved through the camp, they witnessed the grim realities of imprisonment and the flicker of hope in the eyes of survivors who had endured unimaginable conditions. The liberation not only exposed the horrific crimes of the Nazi regime, but also stood as a powerful moment in the fight for justice and human dignity during the final days of World War II. In 1919, a towering pyramid built from captured German helmets was displayed in New York City, marking the end of World War I. Composed of thousands of helmets, the structure stood as a public monument to those who had fallen and a reminder of the immense cost of the war. In 1925, 10-year-old Frank Sinatra spent his childhood in Hoboken, New Jersey, surrounded by the lively energy of Italian-American neighborhoods. Music was a constant presence in his young life, with the sounds of big band jazz and popular tunes filling the air. Sinatra began developing his voice by singing at family gatherings and small local venues, gradually building confidence and skill. In the early 1950s, Claudia Cardinale earned recognition from the Los Angeles Times Magazine as one of the 50 most beautiful women in film history. Born in Tunisia to Italian parents, Cardinale began her journey in Italian cinema, where her talent quickly garnered attention. Her transition to Hollywood brought her roles in iconic films such as The Leopard and Once Upon a Time in the West. In 1934, John Dillinger, one of America's most notorious gangsters, posed casually for a photograph with Lake County prosecutor Robert Estill in the Crown Point Jail in Indiana. The image was taken shortly after his arrest during a period when Dillinger was considered public enemy number one, known nationwide for his daring bank robberies and bold escapes from custody. In 1906, Cow Kla, a Tlingit woman from Alaska, adorned herself in a potlatch dancing costume, intricately crafted to reflect her people's cultural traditions. The potlatch ceremony was an essential part of Tlingit society, combining elements of social gathering, economic exchange, and cultural storytelling through dance, feasts, and shared rituals. In 1917, American sailors were equipped with the first life jackets, a practical innovation aimed at improving maritime safety. Constructed from cork and other buoyant materials, these early life-saving devices were introduced during a time of heightened naval activity in World War I. On January 25, 1948, the Santa Fe F-3A diesel locomotive dramatically overshot its track at Union Station in Los Angeles, leaving its nose suspended over Aliso Street. The sight became an unforgettable image for those who witnessed it, occurring during a period of significant growth and strain on urban rail systems in post-war America. In 1947, backstage at theaters in New York City, showgirls from Oklahoma and Carousel rolled up their sleeves to receive smallpox vaccinations just moments before stepping on stage. With infectious diseases like smallpox still posing a threat in the post-war era, the campaign was a necessary precaution to safeguard both the performers and their audiences. Around 1932, the USS Colorado BB-45 made a striking impression in New York Harbor, standing as a testament to the United States Navy's focus on modernization and preparedness during the interwar years. Armed with powerful weaponry and equipped with advanced technology for its time, this Colorado-class battleship embodied the naval strategies of a nation increasingly aware of its global responsibilities. In 1936, the Mercury Streamliner debuted in Chicago, marking a significant development in rail travel with its emphasis on speed and modern design. This locomotive was part of the growing trend of streamlined trains, characterized by sleek aerodynamic shapes designed to reduce air resistance and improve passenger comfort. In 1938, bodybuilder Relna Brewer gained public attention by tearing a phone book in half, an impressive demonstration of her physical strength and a moment that highlighted the growing visibility of women in strength sports. In 1944, two early recruits of the British Free Corps, a controversial unit composed of British volunteers serving in the Waffen-SS, were photographed conversing with German officers, their uniforms prominently displaying the Union Jack insignia on their arms. Formed during World War II, this unit aimed to attract British citizens disillusioned with the Allied cause. On September 19, 1940, a German woman was subjected to public humiliation in a medieval pillory for her relationship with a Polish prisoner of war. This event occurred during a time when Nazi ideology enforced strict racial and social divisions, leaving little tolerance for such connections. In 1930, a 23-year-old John Wayne stood at the beginning of a career that would eventually make him one of Hollywood's most iconic figures. At this early stage, Wayne had recently signed a contract with Fox Film Corporation and was taking on roles in B-movies and westerns. These initial projects provided him with valuable experience and laid the foundation for his rise to stardom. Between 1944 and 1945, a B-24 crewman stood beside his Liberator bomber, reflecting the endurance and bravery required for missions flown at 25,000 feet. The B-24 Liberator, with its long-range capability and ability to carry a heavy bomb load, was a crucial tool in the Allied arsenal during World War II. On August 28, 1941, the United States ship North Carolina BB-55 demonstrated her firepower during a shakedown cruise in the Caribbean Sea, firing her 16-inch guns for the first time. As one of the first fast battleships constructed for the United States Navy during World War II, the North Carolina embodied significant advancements in naval technology and strategy. In the early 1910s, an Austro-Hungarian hussar posed proudly with his girlfriend, their photograph preserving a moment of affection and military tradition. The hussars, famed for their ornate uniforms and exceptional cavalry skills, were among the most celebrated soldiers of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In 1948, Zito's Bakery on Bleecker Street stood as a cherished corner of New York City, known for its flavorful breads and pastries that brought joy to everyone who walked through its doors. This was a lively period for Greenwich Village, where local bakeries like Zito's became integral to the neighborhood's charm and character. With the scent of fresh bread filling the air and customers lining up daily, Zito's Bakery was more than just a shop. It was a cornerstone of the community, a place where neighbors met, stories were shared, and life unfolded amidst the aroma of warm loaves. In 1972, British schoolgirls gathered in Hyde Park, London, to protest against caning, a disciplinary practice still commonly used in schools. The protest reflected a growing movement advocating for children's rights and humane treatment in education. During the socially transformative 1970s, such demonstrations contributed to shifting attitudes toward school discipline, eventually influencing reforms in educational practices across the United Kingdom.